Welcome to Whiskey and Wonder.
Damn, I'm all over the place today. All the changes they're all screwing with me. I forgot to turn the cameras on. I forgot to hit the applause button.
You hit stop to record.
Yeah, you guys don't even get to see that one before we started, and I couldn't get the audio recording because I hit the stop button 3 times instead of record. So this is Whiskey and Wonder, where I just screw it all up all the time.
That's all right. We both struggle along on the struggle bus.
Yes, we do. We get there though.
We do somehow, some way.
All 4 tires are flat. I'm Tyler.
I'm Megan.
And this is Whiskey and Wonder, where we whiskey and we wonder.
Yeah, I mean, we whiskey and we wonder. Good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, so the reason I'm all discombobulated and all jacked up is because I did some heck of a cleaning in this office. You guys can't see it. We hide the mess off screen if you're on YouTube. I do a very good job of that, but this desk has been a disaster for weeks now.
What?
Damn. You're right. Anyway.
Low key. Sorry.
No, that's fine. Anyway, it's the truth. But anyway, my computer was being an asshole today and not wanting to record. It's been doing it off and on all week, so I had to clean it. And in cleaning it, I decided to move it off of the carpet and onto the desk, which meant I had to make a bunch of room, and I just got into a cleaning mode. So,
I mean, it probably shouldn't be on the carpet anyway when you have a dog that sheds like your dog does.
True, but room, storage, and whatnot. But anyway, I've made it work now. So I'm discombobulated, guys.
That's all right.
If you are checking us out on YouTube, which I would recommend everybody do this week, every single person, go to YouTube, check us out, whiskeyandwonder.com. You see that I still have my beard. Let me talk to you about this for one brief moment. I'll drag this screen over here so I can see it.
Those of you guys who are just tuning in, a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, Tyler agreed that he would shave his beard off and have a mustache once we got to a certain number of unique listens.
I did, and I have not yet, because we have not got there.
How many away are we?
One more week. We are 16 listens away.
16?
So it's probably going to happen this week, which means I need to book an appointment with a barber to get this shaved, because God knows if I tried to do this, I would make it look terrible. But I think I'm going to rock the old waxed handlebar mustache, the old overly manly
The
meme
fisty
mustache.
cuffs.
Yeah.
All right.
My beard is really good and long. I can get a good curl going.
Oh,
right
are you
now.
going to curl it?
Oh, yeah. Of course, with mustache wax.
Okay. I'm looking forward to seeing this. I am excited.
Maybe I'll get a bowler hat, too.
Oh, adorable.
But anyway, yeah, I'm not looking forward to this. You are, but I'm not.
I am.
I look terrible with a mustache.
We're going to see. I don't think I've ever seen your chin.
I haven't been clean shaven since 2017. And ironically, that was the only time in my life I shaved a mustache. I had nothing but a mustache and said never again. You want to know what the lesson is in that, kids?
Never say never.
Say never.
No, poor Tyler.
Anyway, we're going to move on from the beard shaving and jump into our little social media thing that we always do. Check us out on Instagram at Whiskey and Wonder.
Nope.
Oh, God damn it. Check us out at Whiskey Podcast. It's all in the show notes. If I get it wrong, it's in the show notes. It's on the screen. If you check us out on YouTube, find us. Whiskey and Wonder is our channel name. We're also on Patreon, patreon.com/Whiskey and Wonder. What else am I missing here?
Whiskeyandwonder.com.
Yeah, the big one.
Yep, that's a very big one.
By the way, speaking of whiskeyandwonder.com.
Yes.
You want to tell them?
All right. So it is very important that all of you guys listening log on to Whiskey and Wonder this week On the very front page, right under the About Us section, there is a poll. We put that poll up because we want to know if you want us to add another segment to our podcast. We're going to call it, if it does happen, the open segment. And it's basically going to be a conversational type free running segment. Kind of like what My Favorite Murder does before every episode. We are thinking about maybe putting it at the end of the episode rather than the beginning. We aren't quite sure yet. But we want to know what you think. Do you want us to do something like that? So go to whiskeyandwonder.com and please let us know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Please.
Megan was actually sitting here right before we started. She just told a really funny story of something that happened this week. That stuff like that would go, and I would tell the story of how my day has been absolutely insane between cleaning and fighting this computer, and it's my day to research, so I had to research during all this while my computer was crashing. So, I could just talk.
Just fun conversations
whatever's
about
been
our
going
week.
on.
What's
I
going
could tell you
on,
how I lost
life.
my favorite disc golf disc yesterday and managed to get it back today, and just stuff like that. Whatever you're interested in, or whatever's been going on in our lives, not necessarily what you're interested in. If you're interested in something and want to talk about it, email us.
Please, email us.
You can find us, contact at whiskeyandwonder.com. That's on the screen on YouTube. It'll be in the show notes. We also have personalized emails at whiskeyandwonder.com as well. Again, screen, show notes.
Mm-hmm.
We are still looking for guests and guest drinkers. I think we've got one, maybe two people that are interested in joining. So if you are interested in joining, reach out, please. Absolutely. We would love to have you on. And we are, as we mentioned last week, we're kind of putting the merchandise on the back burner. We still got the tumblers. We've still got stickers. Matter of fact, this is what the sticker looks like. If you haven't seen it, I haven't shown it in a while. It's our bottle logo, and it does stick to cars, and it is just the cutout of the bottle. But we're going to put the merchandise on the back burner for a little bit and try to focus on upping our listens, getting the brand out, blah, 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 blah. So we're looking for advertisement opportunities. If you have a, voice or a lot of followers or something and want to advertise us, and, we'd be willing to pay, depending on how much you're asking and what we can afford. So, and how much of a voice you have.
Yeah. So shoot us an email. Let us know. We'd be excited to get that rolling.
Yeah. And if people don't start sending in mailbag, we're going to start reading those emails too. Not really, but, please send us some emails.
Please.
And finally, before we jump too far into Whiskey or Wonder, thank you all for the donations, for the support you give us. Another donation was made this week, and we greatly appreciate it. It's donations and stuff that make us, we can look for advertising opportunities. We can go out and spend $100 on whiskey and not feel too, I don't feel too hurt in my budget about it. So,
it's nice. You guys make this podcast happen.
You really do. And we couldn't do it without you. It
helps out a lot. So thank you guys so much. Yay.
Take a round of applause. And I believe on that note, we're just going to go right on.
All right.
Opening the bottle.
Today, we are drinking Buffalo Trace Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey.
Let me just jump in for 1 second and say, we've had several recommendations for this whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
I personally have heard of it for years now and never tried it. And I just found out earlier, Megan's never heard of it.
Nope.
So we're on polar opposite ends. I'm very excited for this, and Megan's very, okay.
I'd try it. I don't know. So, this is from the Buffalo Trace website. In Kentucky, Buffalo carved a pathway that was followed by America's early pioneers. On the spot where the buffalo migration route crossed the Kentucky River We've been making legendary bourbon whiskey for over 200 years. Buffalo Trace is the oldest continuously operating distillery in America. During Prohibition, the distillery was even permitted to remain operational to make whiskey for medicinal purposes. In tribute to the mighty buffalo and the rugged, independent spirit of the pioneers who followed them westward, we created Buffalo Trace Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Within the past decade, Buffalo Trace has won more awards than any other distillery in the world, including an unmatched 7 Distillery of the Year titles. Still American family-owned and located in Franklin County, Kentucky, the distillery's rich history includes such legendary distillers as E.H. Taylor Jr., George T. Stagg, Albert B. Blanton, Orville Shupp, and Elmer T. Lee. The distillery sprawls impressive over 130 acres and is home to 4 centuries of architecture, all still fully operational.
That was some heck of a name. And Elmer and Orville and there was like another weird one in there.
What else did they have in there? Elmer, Orville, Albert.
Yeah, Albert's kind of weird.
And then George and E.H.
Yeah, Albert was the one I was thinking of. So when I opened this bottle, I got a whiff and it smelled heavenly. Now that I'm actually smelling it, it smells nothing like what I got when I opened the bottle. So I don't know what I smelled when I opened the bottle.
Okay, well, I just got a smell of something as I picked up my Glenlivet. Glenlivet. This is not a Glenlivet glass.
Glenclaren.
Thank you.
Glenlivet's a scotch.
Yes, it is.
Which we want to try soon.
We've tried some. We have the 15. I have the 15. We got it from
That's
friend
right.
Angie.
Yeah, you're right. Glenlivet. I was thinking Glenfiddich or Glenflit. Damn, how do you say that word?
Glenfilch? Is that what you're trying to say? I don't know what you're trying to say.
Glenfiddich. That's what I'm trying to say. Glenfiddich.
All right.
That's what I was thinking in my head. But yeah, you're right. I've been sniffing this, and the overwhelming note to me, I was caught off guard because, like I said, I caught a certain sweet aroma when I opened the bottle, but it's not sweet at all smelling. It smells like dill, maybe a smidge of sweet, and I was overwhelmed at how.
You sure?
Yeah, I got a tinge of sweet, like a very, very, very subtle sweet at one point. I'm not getting it.
I'm getting a lot of sweet. I'm getting orange and vanilla.
Yeah, I get the vanilla. That's what I got.
I'm not getting any dill.
I get that dill is like the overwhelming flavor for me.
Orange is overwhelming for me. I'm not getting any dill. There is some burn your nose hair
A little bit
in there, but
I don't get any orange. I get dill.
I don't know how you're not getting orange. I don't know how you're getting dill because I'm getting straight orange vanilla, creamsicle type smell.
Well, I could say the opposite. I'm getting dill and no orange. I don't know how you're getting orange and I'm getting dill.
Well, interesting. I mean, let me swirl this bad boy a little bit more. Try not to spill it everywhere. Swish, 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 and nope, it's orange. Don't know what to tell you, bro. It's super orange. Like, I can't. In fact, the orange is so overpowering, it's hard to pinpoint anything other than orange and vanilla. Like, I think this is going to be super, super sweet once we do actually taste it. Oh, I got dill when okay. I set it down. I left it alone. I talked a little bit, like 30 seconds, whatever. Picked it back up, didn't swish it, smelled it, got a little bit of dill.
So I got vanilla strongly when I did the same thing, but so on the video for anybody that's watching, and I highly recommend you watch because this is probably going to be the last one with my beard in it.
Goodbye.
You saw me go and smell my hands. There's a reason for that. Literally about 10 minutes before we recorded, I wolfed down sandwich and some Quest potato chips that were like Cool Ranch flavor. And so I was smelling my hand to make sure that wasn't what I was smelling when I said dill, because I was swirling with this hand, and that was the hand I ate the potato chips with.
Okay, if I swirl it, I lose the dill, but if I don't swirl it, I get the dill. So I don't know how that's happening. I don't know why that's happening. I don't know why you and I are so different.
Yeah, I've pretty much got dill, vanilla, and burn your nose hairs.
Weird, because you're also wrong. The nose is supposed to be caramel, honey, orange, and vanilla. The nose balances these flavors while also providing an underlying layer of oak and mint. No dill anywhere. So
I smell dill.
I don't know.
I'm sticking to it too. I'm not. I smell like that was when I stuck this up to my nose. That was what I smelled.
Okay. You do have a mutant dill plant. Maybe you're just smelling your dill plant from all the way in here.
No, that's 3 rooms away. I think it's staying in there. I actually cut a lot of it back too.
Feed me, Seymour. Do you know what that's from?
A movie.
A movie, he says.
I couldn't tell you which movie. My dad says that all the time, though. You're on par with my dad, which I guess is all right because I'm on par with your dad. We get along. We hit it off pretty well, so.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Tyler.
Oh, I just got orange.
Ta-da!
I just let it sit there.
I don't know why it's doing the opposite for us. I taste a little bit on my finger.
Oh, she's cheating. She's cheating. You're supposed to tell us what we're tasting, or wait, you told us what
I told you what we're supposed to smell.
Yeah, I guess I'm supposed to taste then.
Yeah, you should be tasting.
I got sidetracked.
I got spinning it really. I was having a lot of fun spinning it, and a little bit got on my finger. So the little tiny bit I tasted on my finger tasted really good. I don't know what it's going to actually taste like though once I try it.
All right. I have tasted. I have tried. I have. Hard to put in words. The burn was intense. It was like a candle that burned bright, but it didn't burn long.
Yeah.
At the end.
Yeah, like just a flare, flashbang type.
Yeah, kind of burn, and it wasn't overpowering. It might have been like, if 50%'s like my comfort zone with a burn, it might have been like 55, 60%. Just a smidge higher than I personally would like it. But not much, not bad. On the front, the first thing I noticed was sweetness. I didn't really notice a mid, but I only took the one sip.
I'm really enjoying the front and the mid. Not super into the finish. The finish is a very woody, oaky, rye type finish for me. Very, very naturey.
Yeah, it is. It is very naturey. Definitely oaky.
Yeah. But the initial taste is very sweet.
I'm the mid, the front end and the mid are going so fast that I don't know. I like I said, I get the initial taste of sweet. And one thing that I've noticed, and this has been sitting on this table since I got it the other day. It's cold. It is cold when it hits my tongue. It feels chilled.
It did say the smell was supposed to be mint.
Maybe that's what I'm getting with
mint.
The mint.
Yeah, like
because it legitimately feels like a little chill. It feels like it's.
I'd agree with
chilled,
that,
yeah.
and I think it is. I think it's that mint, almost like a Listerine type mint. Not that you should drink that, but it definitely makes your mouth cool when you go.
Yeah, and that's the burn. The burn is minty. It's not spice. It's minty. I'm still not. I guess mint would be the mid then, because I'm not really getting anything else for the middle end other than oaky at the end.
So my front is very sweet. It's like a vanilla, sugar, candy, caramel type front. Yep. The mid, that's where most of the burn is, and that's where the mint. I would say that is a very like pepperminty, winter mint type.
Peppermint's a good descriptor of that.
And then the final is woodsy, oaky, naturey.
Yeah. I'm having a little bit, the burn is like, like I said earlier, if 50% is like my comfort, in the mid, it's like 55, 60, and then it rapidly drops down, but it hovers at like 10 for a while.
Yeah.
It like, it's still there,
Yeah.
but it's barely there. So
Yeah, I feel you. I get that.
no dill and no orange.
Nope.
Interesting. The one flavor we were fighting over. But yeah, overall,
I like the way this is a journey.
I was just about to say this is like a roller coaster ride.
Yeah. Very, very different flavor profiles on every step of the way. So I'm super into the so far tasting experience of this. I look forward to sipping on this as you're presenting.
I just kind of swished it around a little bit and got a little bit more sweetness, maybe a honeysuckle
Okay.
in there.
So the palate is sweet with notes of brown sugar, vanilla, and toffee. And then light amounts of oak and rye spice. The finish is a moderate length of oak. And mint ends up filling your nostrils.
Yeah.
So.
I hadn't really thought about it. My nose is not the best, obviously. But yeah, I wouldn't say the mint in your nose is overpowering though.
No, but I really like that there's that chill there. Normally when I drink whiskey, you like get warmed up from it. This is like a summertime whiskey. This is something that I'm not getting warm from it. I'm actually kind of cold. And I'm in your my nice
REI jacket.
Yeah.
Quarter zip.
Yeah. Interesting.
That I bought in the middle of summer and haven't got to wear yet. Megan's the first person that's wearing it.
It's because you keep your house at like 60 degrees.
It is actually 70 degrees. Thank you.
It's cold.
Negative. I came in here the other day, not to get too far off topic, but I came in here and it was 80 degrees.
That sounds amazing.
I almost died. I was legitimately angry walking through the house toward my thermostat. Like, why have you set this at 80?
Like, oh, yes. 80 degrees.
Like I legitimately have it on a schedule. And apparently when I am away from home, it ignores my schedule and sets itself to its power saving temperature, which is 80. I don't give a fuck. I want it to be 70 goddamn degrees when I get home. Anyway.
Right. Okay.
End rant.
Let's move on.
It's time for the Wonder segment.
All
right.
This week, it's your week, Tyler.
It is. Now, as I said earlier, I've had a heck of a day. And as I'm sure any of our longtime listeners know, Sundays are my days that I research and put together all this stuff. So
we also record Sundays.
We do. So fighting my computer all day and cleaning and having one errand to do, I managed to crank out about 4.5 pages worth of research, which is pretty spot on to what I normally have. I usually have anywhere from 4 to 6. Okay. So I kind of fell back onto a topic that we've touched on and brought up before, but we've never actually covered.
Okay.
And you'll enjoy it, I know. Anyway, today I'm going to teach you about Judge Kenesaw Mountain Landis and the Black Sox scandal.
Yes.
You said you were leaving this one for me.
Yes,
so
I've been waiting for this one.
So today we're going to learn about one of America's finest judges and how he ties into the worst corruption scandal and in America's pastime. And I want to asterisk this by saying I don't know if this is America's pastime's worst cheating scandal after the Astros cheating scandal.
You think the Astros were worse than the Black Sox?
I do.
Okay. I mean,
I
that
do.
happened
They were
like...
using technology.
Oh, that's true.
That was an outside source. Anyway,
Real quick, don't get into it. What did the Astros do? It happened in what, 2018, 2019? It was recent.
I think it was the 2015 or 2016 season.
Was it that long ago?
I think so. It was the year they won the World Series. Basically, they had someone in the clubhouse watching a live feed of the game, not the one that's 7 seconds behind like your TV broadcast. And they were relaying whenever an off-speed pitch was coming to the batter by smashing a trash can. Or they would relay a sign to somebody in the dugout and they would smash a trash can. There was also a person out in the outfield seats that had, I guess, binoculars or some way to see the catcher, and then they would relay it to the bullpen catcher, who would stand on the bullpen with his arms up. If it was say it was going to be a fastball, that was a sign. He would stand with his arms up if it was a fastball, and stand with his arms down if it was anything off speed. So they
2017. 2018 season.
Yeah, it was the season they won the World Series. And if you look at the splits between their home and away games, they were garbage on the road, and they were amazing at home. So that's what happened with the Astros.
Okay.
So if you've listened to our John D. Rockefeller episode, which is episode 11, you may recognize that name, Kenesaw Mountain Landis, because I know we've touched on him, and we've talked about the Black Sox scandal in the past. We haven't really explained either, other than just that brief nugget in the Rockefeller episode. But today I'm going to tie it all together as best I can. And I think I'm going to start by giving the backgrounds on both parties involved. And I'm going to start with old Judge Kenesaw Mountain Landis, which is a fucking mouthful to say, by the way.
Judge Kenesaw Mountain Landis.
So KML was born in Millville, Ohio. Yes, I'm calling him KML. He was born on November 20th, 1866 to Abraham Hawk Landis and Mary Cumler Landis. The two were originally unable to agree on a name for their sixth child, and so they decided to name him after the Battle of Kenesaw Mountain, where Abraham had been wounded while fighting for the Union during the Civil War. If that ain't some redneck shit.
At least he was fighting for the Union.
You say to somebody who had ancestors who fought for the Confederacy.
Not sorry.
Not that I'm proud of that. I'm just saying.
Not sorry at all.
Yeah, it, is what it is. So Kenesaw Mountain Landis was born. Interestingly, at that time, there were two spellings of the word Kenesaw, one with two N's and another one with only one N. Over time, the word evolved to only have the spelling with two N's. However, Landis's name was only spelled with one. Just a little fun fact there before anybody tells me I spelled it wrong. So Papa Landis was a country doctor, but his injury from the Civil War forced him to limit his practice, so he moved the family to a farm in Indiana in 1874. KML was soon responsible for 13 acres of farmland, which he would later state he wasn't particularly fond of farm work and hated getting up at 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I don't like going to bed until 3:30 in the morning, so I can't imagine getting up then. No, thank you.
Let me get on a side story here.
Oh, God.
For a brief moment. It's brief. I text Megan quite often. I have a 9 to 5, and I tend to text her usually 9, 10 in the morning. It drives me insane. Even on weekends and other days, I won't get a reply until like 12, 1 o'clock. And I'm like, what are you doing?
I'm sleeping.
Are you just waking up? Now, I know you have insomnia and whatnot, so I try not to judge too much, but I definitely judge a little bit.
Ouch.
Must be nice to sleep that long, but I know you have insomnia that makes you sleep
Makes it hard.
weird, so.
Yep. But yeah, I don't reply right away because I'm typically knocked out.
I know.
So
that's why I just let it ride.
if you need me, you can call me. I'll wake up to my phone ringing.
So old Kenesaw, He left school when he was 15 to work at a general store because he couldn't master algebra. Shortly thereafter, he went to work as an errand boy for the Vandalia Railroad, and when he later applied for the position of brakeman, he was literally laughed out of the office and told he was too small.
Rude.
Different time. After bouncing around from several jobs, finally by 1883, KML found himself a job as an official court reporter after teaching himself how to shorthand report. He would later go on to say, "I may not have been much of a judge nor a baseball official, but I do pride myself on having been a real shorthand reporter." It was around this time that Landis was becoming a local athlete as well. He was a prize-winning bicycle racer and also played and managed a local baseball team. And he was apparently good enough to even be offered a professional contract for baseball. But he turned it down because he only wanted to play for the love of the game. It wasn't until 1886 that Landis had his first venture into politics, where he helped his friend, Republican Charles F. Griffin, to win the Indiana Secretary of State. Griffin rewarded Landis with a job in the Indiana Department of State while working. Oh, I just ran through that period. Griffin rewarded Landis with a job in the Indiana Department of State. While working this job, Landis decided he would apply to become a lawyer. Now, obviously, 1886, the requirements to become a lawyer, not quite as tough as they are today. You want to know what the requirements were in Indiana in 1886?
Considering he didn't finish school?
It's a little bit ridiculous. The applicant only needed to prove that he was 21 years old and of good moral character.
How do you prove that?
I'm a good man. If you walked out of this room, I wouldn't steal nothing of yours. I don't know, something like that.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
KML opened his practice in Marion, Indiana. But soon he realized nobody's going to pay him to be their lawyer if he didn't know the law. So he enrolled at I don't know if there's any affiliation here, but the YMCA School of Law in Cincinnati in 1889. I don't know if that's related to the YMCA gym. I don't know if that's related to the song YMCA by the Village People. Who knows? Megan whipped out her phone, so she's going to know. In 1890, he transferred to Union School of Law, where he completed his law degree and was admitted to the Illinois bar. Shortly thereafter, KML set up his own practice in Chicago, became an assistant instructor at Union. The practice was opened with his college friend Frank O. Loudon, and these two tried very, very hard to impress their clients, going so far as to purchase a secondhand law library, which ended up driving them into debt. Not long after this, Landis was hired as the personal secretary to Judge Walter Q. Gresham, who had been recently appointed Secretary of State by President Grover Cleveland. He's moving on up. Landis had appeared before Judge Gresham in court, and Gresham had taken a liking to Landis, saying Landis had something on the ball. Sounds like a really 1800s saying, but, I think it means he's on the ball. He's got something. Got something going, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Real quick, from what I can gather in my quick 30-second Google search is that the YMCA did offer law school classes.
I have that song stuck in my head now.
You're welcome. But yeah, so apparently back in the day, you could go to the YMCA and become a lawyer.
Young man. Na, 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 na. Shelby, that's for you. While in Washington, Landis worked hard for Gresham. He made many friends in the members of the press, but he frustrated many senior members of the State Department who thought he was very brash. Word got out about President Cleveland's Hawaiian policy, and the president was certain that the leak had come from Landis, and demanded that he be fired. However, Gresham vehemently defended Landis. Gresham flat out told Cleveland that he would have to fire both of them, and that caused Cleveland to back off. Finally came out that Landis was not the source of the leak, and President Cleveland and Landis eventually became very good friends. And when Gresham died in 1895, Cleveland offered Landis the position of U.S. ambassador to Venezuela. But Landis refused and returned to Chicago to his law practice. Shortly after this, he married his wife, Winifred Reed, in 1895, and they had 2 surviving children, Reed and Suzanne. They had a 3rd child, but she died almost immediately after being born.
Aw.
Over time, Landis's Chicago practice began doing well, and that allowed him to foray back into politics. In 1904, he served as campaign manager for his friend and partner Loudon's bid for Illinois' governor in 1904. But Loudon didn't win. A seat on the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Illinois became vacant, and President Theodore Roosevelt offered it to Loudon, but he refused and recommended Landis. Roosevelt chose to nominate him. Roosevelt stated he wanted, quote, a tough judge and a man sympathetic with my viewpoint. I'm sorry, Roosevelt didn't say that. That was from Roosevelt's biographer. Roosevelt wanted a tough judge and a man sympathetic with his viewpoint in that important court. Roosevelt essentially wanted someone who was just like him, progressively left, but still in the Republican Party. Landis's courtroom was room number 627 in the Chicago Federal Building. The room was large, and it featured murals of King John conceding the Magna Carta and of Moses smashing the tablets that held the 10 Commandments. It also featured mahogany and marble chambers. Quote,
Shrinky.
yeah, quote, just the spot for Landis's sense of the theatrical, end quote. That was according to Landis biographer David Petruza, I think is how you would pronounce it, Petruza. The Chicago Herald-American wrote of Landis, the judge was always headline news. He was a great showman, theatrical in appearance, with his sharp jaw and shock of white hair, and people always crowded into his courtroom knowing there would be something going on. There were few dull moments. So, let's hear a little bit about how Judge Landis ruled. He once said to an elderly defendant who told him he wouldn't live to complete a 5-year sentence, well, you can try, can't you?
Oh, God.
He also once told a witness, now let's stop fooling around and tell exactly what did happen without reciting your life's history. Another time, a young man was waiting to be sentenced for stealing jewels from a parcel with his wife and newborn daughter standing. There's a comma I missed. He was waiting to be sentenced for stealing jewels from a parcel with his wife and newborn daughter standing nearby in the courtroom. After a pause, Landis ordered the young man take his family and go home with them because he didn't want the girl to grow up the daughter of a convict. So, I'm not really going into his career in the courtroom beyond this because I was crunched for time and it would take up too much time. And quite frankly, I could do an entire Wonder segment on this man.
Mm-hmm.
I could also do an entire Wonder segment on the 1919 Black Sox scandal. So, I'm combining them into 2. Maybe I'll break them out in depth one day in the future. But for now, we're going to jump to the Black Sox. If you would like to hear a little bit more of his tenacity in the courtroom, I suggest you give a listen to episode 11, the John D. Rockefeller episode, where, if you will recall, he was the judge that is notoriously associated with trust busting Standard Oil. Spoiler alert. So, we're going to switch gears. We're going to talk a little bit about the state of baseball right about the turn of the century. So, the period between 1900 and 1919 is also known as the dead ball era because, well, the ball didn't really fly. Nope. Baseball fields were actually much larger than they currently are, and the game was basically dominated by pitchers such as Cy Young, Christy Mathewson, Mordecai Brown, and if you're a longtime listener, you'll recall Rube Waddell. If you're not a longtime listener and you want some more information on the hilarious and tragic life and career of Rube Waddell, check out episode 34 where Megan taught us all about her favorite baseball player of all time ever, period, point blank.
Rube Waddell. He is
hilariously
brilliant.
Tragic.
Yes, hilariously tragic. Good way to put him.
During this time, owners were reluctant to buy new balls, and fans would be expected to throw back foul balls and the occasional home run. Yes?
I'm sorry. I know what you said, but in my head, I heard you say boners. So read that sentence with boners instead of owners.
During this time, owners... You want me to say boners? You want me to say owners?
No, you go ahead and say owners. I was just thinking boners buying balls just broke me for a second. I'm better.
During this time, owners were reluctant to buy new balls, and fans would be expected to throw back foul balls and the occasional home run.
That would not happen today.
Actually, it does happen.
They give balls back?
Yeah, well, it's not that they give them back. It's more that people like... You catch the opposing team's like go-ahead home run, and in a big game, you'll see people throw them back on the field all the time. Like, I don't want this.
Oh, well, that I understand. Yeah.
Where was I? Where's my spot here? Sorry. Oh, no, you're fine. Okay. The balls would also become coated with grass and mud and would even become lopsided from overuse. Some players would even spit tobacco or licorice juice on the ball to discolor it, making it even harder to see to hit.
Gross.
Imagine catching one of those as a fan. It like you ever seen a baseball or a golf ball like run through the grass that's wet and it just like sends up those rooster tails?
Gross.
Imagine getting one of those that's like licorice or tobacco juice spit.
Nope. Gross. No.
Also, during this time period, the foul strike rule went into effect, which, caused foul balls to be counted as strikes, which further lowered the score of the game. In addition to all that, the two main competing leagues of the time, the National League and American League, merged in 1903 and formed what we know today as Major League Baseball. The National Commission, a committee of 3 people who oversaw baseball, was formed and made up of a chairperson, the American League president, and the National League president. This commission was to sort out all terms and provisions between the two leagues. Essentially, it was the governing body of the sport. Things were starting to gain some structure, but the legs were still shaky. We're going to jump ahead to 1919 now, and the Chicago White Sox are tearing it up. They had several star players of the day. Shoeless Joe Jackson, Chick Gondill, Eddie Cicotti, Lefty Williams. They would go on to win 88 games and be the best in the American League that season, making it to the World Series. At the time, Charles Comiskey owned the White Sox, but he was widely disliked by his players. He was known for underpaying his players, even though they had just won the World Series in 1917, and they were considered one of the best teams at the time. The White Sox also had the 3rd highest bank account in the majors, or payroll, whatever that term is, I forget.
Money.
Yep. Also, due to the reserve clause, players were not allowed to sign with another team without the permission of their current team, meaning that any decent player was essentially stuck on one team for life. Forever. There was no free agency to get a bigger and better contract. No way to move to a different team unless you were traded or started to suck. And they said, yeah, go suck for somebody else. During this era, gamblers were easily able to pay off players to throw games in order for the player to make some extra side cash. It is worth noting that Charles Comiskey was widely disliked by players and is kind of remembered for not paying his players enough and causing this in a way. But I read several things that said, in the grand scheme of things, compared to other team owners, he wasn't doing anything worse than they were. So take that how you will. Several White Sox players were approached by members from the Arnold Rothstein's gambling syndicate and agreed to throw the World Series for money. The day of Game 1, rumors swirled that the series had been fixed because of a large influx of money being bet on the Cincinnati Reds, who were the opposing team. In all, 8 players were part of the fix. Buck Weaver, Swede Risberg, Chick Gandil, Joe Jackson, Claude Williams, Fred McMullen, Eddie Cicotte, and Happy Felsch were the 8 players. They were all promised progressive payments for each game lost, and upon losing... Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped one detail. The pitcher... Oh, I don't remember which one was the pitcher. I think it might have been Eddie Cicotte. I'm not sure. I don't remember. The signal to the syndicate that they were going to throw the games was to hit the batter. In the first game, the first batter hit him with the second pitch.
Hit him?
Yep. So
damn, I don't want to be the batter.
The first pitch was a strike. The second pitch hit him square in the back.
Ay, mommy.
They were all promised progressive payments for each game lost. So essentially, every time they lost a game, they would get, 20% of whatever they were owed. And upon losing games 1, 2, 4, and 5, and receiving no payments, the players decided that after losing game 5, that they would double cross the gamblers, and went on to win games 6 and 7, which tied the series. But in game 8, the gamblers threatened the players and their families if they didn't go through with it. And the Reds ended up winning the series, whether that's from the threats and they threw it, or whether the Reds just beat them. I guess that's lost to history.
I would like to think that they got so psyched out that they just didn't play well. They didn't lose on purpose, but the Reds weren't better than them. They just were so anxious that.
I think
that's
an interesting way to think about it.
I think that's what happened.
Despite persistent rumors throughout the 1920 season, no punishment actually came until September of 1920, when a grand jury was convened to investigate. Eddie Cicotte, it's Italian, so it's probably Cicotte. Eddie Cicotte confessed on September 28th, and despite being in a battle with the Cleveland Indians for first place, Comiskey suspended the 7 players that were involved that were still in the major league. Chick Gandil chose to play semi-pro ball in 1920 and was no longer part of the major leagues. On October 22nd, 1920, 8 players and 5 gamblers were indicted on charges of conspiracy to defraud. The trial lasted several months and finally went to the jury, which acquitted all 8 players on August 2nd, 1921. So the jury found that no harm, no foul. Obviously, Major League Baseball wasn't too happy with how this had turned out and how it had tarnished the reputation of the sport, and it had caused the owners to want to make major changes in how the sport was governed. The owners originally wanted to appoint old KML to reform the three-member National Commission. Again, that three-member commission. But, like the boss he was, Landis made it very clear that he would only accept if he was the only commissioner and was granted complete and unchecked power over the sport. He pretty much said, "Make me your tyrant.
I am your leader."
Look at me. Look at me. I am baseball now."
Oh, yep.
The owners were so desperate to clean up the game and to keep up a good image that they agreed, giving Kenesaw Mountain Landis unlimited power over the sport and everyone in the major and minor leagues.
No man needs that much power.
Yet we still have a commissioner of Major League Baseball.
Yep.
Also, NFL football and NBA basketball.
Yep.
They followed in the footsteps of the NFL, or the NFL, the
MLB.
MLB. I was thinking of the NFL episode I did, and I was wondering if I had covered the commissioner's role at all in that episode. But I think it was more
a long time ago.
It was more the history of the Super Bowl. It was only February or January, somewhere in there.
It was a long time ago.
That was like half a year ago.
That's a long time.
The day after the acquittal, using his newfound godlike power, Landis issued his own verdict, placing the 8 accused players on the ineligible list, making them ineligible to play in the major or minor leagues, any professional baseball. You got to understand, Shoeless Joe Jackson was huge.
Oh, yeah.
He
huge. Lefty Williams was big, too.
Lefty Williams. But Lefty Williams, was Lefty Williams one of them? I don't think Lefty. Yeah, you're right. I said Claude Williams. Lefty was obviously a nickname. Yep, Lefty Williams. And that's why I couldn't think of the picture. I was sitting here going, I thought it was Lefty Williams, but I don't see Lefty Williams up there. It's Claude Williams. So his real name was Claude. Landis stated, regardless of the verdict of juries, no player who throws a ball game, no player who undertakes or promises to throw a ball game, no player who sits in confidence with a bunch of crooked ball players and gamblers, where the ways and means of throwing a game are discussed, and does not promptly tell his club about it, will ever play professional baseball. Landis jumped on the task of cracking down on gambling, going so far as to issuing an ultimatum to John McGraw and Charles Stoneham after they partnered to buy a horse racing track in Cuba. Landis told them that they could not be involved in baseball and horse racing, and the two sold the track shortly after buying it. In his career as commissioner, Landis would ban 18 players from playing professional baseball. Shortly after accepting the role of commissioner, Landis began getting criticism for holding both a judicial and baseball position. One congressman called for Landis's impeachment. Interestingly, I noticed it was a lame duck Democratic congressman, which means he had been replaced, and he's calling for the removal of a Republican judge, which I just found interesting because that bickering still goes on today. It's interesting to see what was going on in 1920. The Attorney General remarked that there was no legal reason Landis couldn't hold both jobs. A House Judiciary Committee voted 24-1 to investigate Landis. However, Landis's son, Reed, would later say None of the other congressmen wanted Father impeached, but they did want him to come down and defend himself because they knew what a show it would be.
Yeah. I would like to watch that.
I would love to see this man in action. He is borderline a hero to me.
He's something. I don't know what moniker he should have, but he's something.
Judge Landis had one final controversial ruling where he sent home a bank teller who had pled guilty to embezzling almost $100,000. But because he was the sole provider for his widowed mother and unmarried sister, Landis sent him home and accused the bank of underpaying the man.
Where is this judge today?
By the end of 1921,
What?
Landis felt that he could resign without looking pressured, and on February 18th, 1922, he announced his resignation as judge, effective March 1st. This is another good decision. In Landis's final case, he issued fines to 2 theater owners for evading the federal amusement tax. One owner had refused to make restitution before sentencing. He was fined $5,000. The other had tried to make restitution but didn't have enough. He was fined 1 cent.
God. This dude is...
He is a hero. He punishes the people that deserve to be punished, and he helps out the people that need
like
to
a
be helped
Robin
out.
Hood.
He is
Judge Robin Hood.
He was a hard ass if you pissed him off and you got on his wrong side. But if he took pity on you and thought you were a good person,
Wow.
he would do you a solid.
So I looked it up, and we're going to assume that the bank teller that embezzled $100,000, we're going to say it was in 1921.
Yeah, it was actually like $96,000.
Okay.
I rounded up.
All right. Well, rounding up and saying it was in 1921 is equivalent to $1,517,854.75.
I don't think he got to keep the money.
Oh.
He just didn't. He was waiting.
He didn't
for
get jail
sentencing.
time?
Yeah, he was waiting for sentencing. They took that money.
Oh, no. He should let him keep the money.
Yeah, he should have, but he did chastise the bank and say, "Pay this man more." But so that's it. I didn't get too in depth to either one, but I tied them together. If you go and check out the Rockefeller episode, you can see how tenacious he could be when you got on his bad side.
Judge Landis.
Yep. So, OKML.
All right. I've been waiting for you to do this. That was good.
Yeah. Like I said, I had 2 other topics. And just with the way everything, I abandoned. When I started my computer up and couldn't even pull up the internet without it crashing.
Yeah.
This morning, I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Got to pull out and do something at least I can flub through if I don't have notes. Yeah. Anyway.
Trivia with Tyler.
What is our Tyler Nugget today?
Well, I just saw earlier that it's Shark Week.
It is Shark Week.
And I just happen to have a shark nugget lined up.
All right.
So,
shark bait.
Great white sharks have never been observed mating, and it's unknown where, how, or when they do it.
Bullshit. No way. No way.
I think I just broke Megan. This is according to news.com.au. Here we go. In light of Shark Week, which kicks off on Foxtel from Thursday. I don't know what the hell that means. Some Australian phrase, maybe. We've discovered this remarkable fact with two-time Emmy Award-winning cinematographer and wildlife filmmaker Randy Casagrande the Fourth.
That's not a real name.
Yes, it is.
Andy Randy Casagrande the Fourth.
Andy Brandy Casagrande the Fourth, claiming in an interview last year that shooting great whites doing the deed would be a huge coup. I don't know what this is. It's from Australia, so I don't know what the hell they mean by it. It would be a huge shot.
Wow.
The holy grail for most shark filmmakers would be to capture great white sharks mating. No one's ever witnessed it. There's no video proof or satellite data or anything to show when, where, and how white sharks mate.
What about in captivity? Do they not mate in captivity, I guess?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Wow. Yeah, you did break me a little bit. Out of all the animals in the entire world, that's one we're not sure how it happens. That's weird.
We even have trackers on great white sharks.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I was like, huh? When I saw it too. So
that's weird. That's crazy. Wow. My brain hurts.
All right. This would be the spot where we do mailbag, but nobody emailed us, so please email us.
Sad.
Email us. I'm sure at some point this week, there will be pictures. I guess we should probably take a before picture today.
We'll do a before and after picture.
Or
you
maybe,
have to
maybe I'll take a before picture.
set your appointment for like Friday afternoon.
Can't happen.
Why? Oh my God. It can't be a time where I'm working.
All right. Well, you're hearing it here first, folks. I am going to try my damnedest to get an appointment next Monday because Megan's off.
Yep.
So next week's episode, I will still be bearded.
All right. I have to be there to record.
Okay. I just want a before and after picture, but
it's going to happen, but I have to go with you. I've been planning this for like 6 months. So
I think I know where I want to go to get it done too. So there's my barber quit cutting hair. And so I've been to one barber that's done a good job since then. Notice I haven't had it trimmed in so long because my barber quit and I hate doing it. And I haven't found one that does it good except for one guy. So yep, it's coming. Anyway.
Final thoughts.
Well, if you guys.
I'm dying.
Are you all right over there? Nay, you go to protect her. Oh. You want some water?
It went down the wrong pipe.
Was it water or whiskey?
Whiskey.
Oh.
Whiskey went down the wrong pipe, guys.
Oh. Well. Just so you guys know, we're not actually muted during the little drops there. We just don't talk. Megan choking on whiskey over there.
Oh, sorry.
That's hilarious. I want to hear it again.
No. I'm so sorry. That hurt a lot.
I'm sure.
Wow. Well.
Do you need a minute?
Yeah, you go ahead. What do you
right.
think? What do you think? Because I'm struggling to breathe.
I obviously didn't get to drink as much as you did. One thing I did learn from presenting is I would not shoot this. I would not recommend shooting this. You might end up like Megan just was. Did you try to shoot it? Yep, she tried to shoot it apparently. That's her excuse. She just can't swallow. Anyway.
That's what she said.
Wait, hold on. There we go.
There you go.
I'm all jacked up. My thing's usually over here, and now it's over here. And it was the furthest button from my hand, and the microphone was in the way, and I had whiskey in this hand, so I was just all over the place. Go check us out on YouTube. That'll make more sense. So,
All right. Up until I choked, I was really liking it.
Now she hates it. It tried to kill her. I've really enjoyed this. It's not overpowering in any sense. The burn is minty. I like minty burn. Like I said, I don't like an overpowering burn, and this one is just a tinge more than I would normally. If I was gonna pick the burn level, but it's really close to what I would like, just a smidge more, and I really have enjoyed this. Would not recommend to shoot it.
No, don't shoot it. Don't inhale it. Do not recommend inhaling.
I don't really have much else to say about this other than that.
I mean, Tyler, I'm honestly with you. I've enjoyed this whiskey the whole time through. I've really, really enjoyed sipping on it. I don't want to mix this with anything. I don't want to alter this in any way, shape, or form, other than I don't want to choke on it again. That wasn't very fun.
I would try it chilled. This is, for me, this is something I would definitely have again.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that I will be having on the porch with a cigar. I'm excited for that moment to come to get a little relaxation. It's the middle of summer right now, and I'm going to. It never fails. I always end up like in the freezing cold temperatures of the winter, trying to smoke my cigars on the porch, and it's not happening. I'm gonna make it happen here within the next couple of weeks. Usually, what keeps me in the summer is the bugs. Mosquitoes tear me up, but.
Do you not have citronella candles? Or?
No, I actually have thermocells, which are 10 times better than citronella candles.
Why don't you turn those on?
Truthfully, I just forget I have them.
Oh, well, now you know.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I know I have them. I just forget about them.
For shame.
For shame.
We're supposed to be talking about this whiskey, and
You're right.
I liked it. It was nice. I liked every part of it, beginning, middle, end.
It was well balanced.
Yes.
Like a well balanced breakfast. Nothing was overpowering. Megan's still dying.
I'm still
a
little choky. I'm a little choky still.
Yeah. I genuinely. I wish I had more to say. I don't. It's not a bad thing that I don't have anything to say. I mean, I don't want to say I'm left speechless, but in a way, I'm left speechless. Like it's just, it's. I can see this being old reliable.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like I can see this being the one I want in my cabinet constantly.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's not going to be something fancy that I necessarily break out, but it's also not going to be something that I'm going to mix. This is just like my go-to. I can see this being my go-to.
Yeah. It's quite tasty.
I don't remember what the price range was on this. I think it was like $30 or $40.
Not bad. Not bad in that mid-range, middle-tier type price. What are you thinking about rating this one? It's definitely above average. I'm trying to debate how high I want to put it. Like thinking the ones I have that are like 10s. Where is this with those?
Yeah, I'm basically doing the same thing.
I
know my answer.
Okay.
Because you know me, I can't go super extreme one way or the other. So I'm debating between two numbers, but I think I've settled. I'm gonna go with a 7.5.
Really?
Yes.
This is old reliable and it's a 7.5.
Well, if you remember, my favorite whiskey from last year, I only ranked a 7.5 or an 8.
That's true.
Like it's gonna have to like make me shit gold to get a 10.
I am a lot more generous in my numbers. YOLO.
The 10 is like the unicorn for me.
Oh, I give 10s way
Willy-nilly.
easier than that.
I'm
Not
a-
willy-nilly.
I'm a hard-ass teacher. You're a...
I'm the fun teacher.
Yeah. That's what we'll call it.
I mean, this deserves more than a 7.5. I'm gonna go with a 9. It's not one of my 10s, but it's up there. It's good.
You heard it here first, folks. 9, 7.5, which for me is basically a 9.
Tyler, speak.
You know what? The hell with it. I'm going to change mine. I'll call it an 8.
Okay. All right.
I'll give it an 8.
Nice even number. I'll take it. Yes. Good.
Oh, yeah. I still got me just a little bit left.
Don't shoot it.
Mm-mm. I would like to try it with just chilled. I would like to try it, see if that does anything with that mint flavor, since it's already kind of, it's not chilled, but it makes it feel chilled.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd like to try it chilled. I'd like to try it with a little drop of water or two in there, just to see how it affects the flavor. I guess I could try that.
Yeah. I do think this is Buffalo Trace. Guys, if you are needing a whiskey, you want to go out and get something that you're going to like and it isn't too weird. It's a nice, sweet. Is this a bourbon? It's not even a bourbon.
It's a Kentucky bourbon.
It is a Kentucky bourbon.
Oh, boy.
So I would say this is something that you can go out and get, and you're going to be happy with it. Whereas some of our 10s are, or my 10s, Tyler's never done a 10. Some of my 10s have been a little bit more unique. Like my Templeton Rye that I really like is a very dill heavy whiskey that might not be everyone's cup of tea.
I might have rated that one pretty high. Let me see what I rated that one.
But I'm...
So I just tried it with, I put 2 drops of water. I had just a sip left. And I put 2 drops of water in it, and it brought the burn down right into the range where I want it. And it made it, the sweet, last longer. So Megan, we're talking rye, Templeton Rye. You rated it a 10. I rated it a 7.5.
It is amazing what a drop of water can change.
Yes, it is.
Watching your face, I followed suit for my last couple sips, and yeah, brings the burn down a lot. Makes this sweet linger a little bit more. So this probably would be good on the rocks.
I've given a couple 8s.
Okay.
I've given an 8.5.
Wow. What was that one for?
You can guess.
American Prairie?
Eh.
No.
Nope. We didn't rate that one, remember?
Oh, shoot. That's right. Oh, I know what one you're talking about. It's a green bottle, isn't it? No?
No.
You sure?
Woodford Reserve Double Oak. I'm looking at it right here. That's honestly, the Woodford Reserve's probably been my favorite one we've done. That was the first one we did this year.
Yes.
Because it didn't make it into the competition last year.
What kind of bottle is that? Is that not a green bottle? No, it has a wooden cork.
Mm-hmm.
Wooden thing.
Yep. It's a small bottle. Shelby got it for us for Christmas.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
That's right.
So I've rated, let's see, I did the Woodford Reserve Woodford Reserve Double Oak was an 8.5. Woodinville was a 7.5. Rabbit Hole was an 8. Glenlivet, 15 years, was an 8 for me. Templeton Rye was a 7.5. Gowden Carolus Brewery Belgian single malt whiskey, I gave it a 7. You gave it a 3.
Sometimes we don't agree.
Uncle Nearest, we both gave it a 7. Yeah, I've given some good ratings.
Okay.
I just haven't found that unicorn yet. The
Okay.
unicorn, like, that's going to be for like the $250 bottle of whiskey we have in
Oh, God.
3 or 4 years. That's the 10. If you thought Glenlivet 15 was a 10, what are you going to do when it shits all over Glenlivet 15?
If we get into the hundreds of dollars bottles, we're probably going to have like a special rating system, maybe. 'Cause I feel like
We'll do that one as how many stars? I give this one 3 stars.
something like regular people can't afford those, or
You're right.
regular people
Probably
shouldn't afford those.
Shouldn't buy those if it's going to financially stress you.
Yeah. I can't imagine spending that much on a fifth of alcohol.
I can. Yeah, I can. For it would have to be like for the right celebration. That would be something for me. Like if I got the promotion I'd been going after for a while or something like that. That would be
Okay.
for me. That wouldn't even go in my liquor cabinet. That would go above the fridge where nobody looks. That's shit. I shouldn't have said that.
Well, now we all know to look above your fridge.
Good. I've got another spot. Maybe that was a sleight of hand thing. Anyway.
All right, guys.
I've finished mine. Megan, have you finished yours?
Yes, I finished mine. I'm sticking with my 9.
And I'm sticking with my 8. I like to leave myself a little bit of room because there might be something better out there.
There might be. Don't choke on it.
Yeah.
I still have that little like.
You want? You keep making them happen.
Every week I make a weird ass noise and it becomes our sound.
If you're watching on YouTube and you don't know what that is, check it out on the actual podcast. Go listen until the very, 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 very end, and then listen a little bit longer.
Yes, that's the one benefit of listening as a podcast
instead of watching on YouTube. Can't add it on the YouTube. Sorry, I've tried. There ain't no way to do it. So you get you a little special something on the podcast and not on the YouTube. But on the YouTube, you get the video. So you see us.
All right, guys. Well, I feel like I need to go cough some more, so we're going to get out of here. Remember to check out our website, whiskeyandwonder.com. That is all spelled out, WHISKEY and Wonder.
You can find that in the show notes, or it's on the screen right here. I'm circling it, but you can't see that. I'm circling it with my mouse.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
No. Anyway.
Please go vote on that poll. Me and Tyler are very interested what you guys think. And that would condense our random ramblings that we do like right now into that one segment. So yeah, let us know if you wanted to do it. If you want us to keep it the way it is, keep us posted. Email us, contact@whiskeyandwonder.com. That being said, guys, I am thinking that is the end for this week. We will see you all next week. Have a fantastic week. Thank you guys so much as always. Don't drink and drive. Cheers.